because this can be one important decision right now, will be a kind of the going to make the entire career, going to make a very successful person in the world. And one wrong decision right now can you land up in a very serious problem. Okay, so at least now you are able to cross that level. Already you have decided that you wanted to become a lawyer, so you have chosen the GD Goenka University as a place to study law. So at least one important hurdle you have crossed, that you are able to take the decision that to what to do in life. And if somebody has not taken a proper decision right now, he may be losing his motivation, maybe attachment very shortly. So I'm a strong believer that you must do in life what you really inspire, what you feel, what suits to your competency, your thought process. Okay, you inspire and you feel just like a hobby, and it should come from you. Only you can consult your friends, consult your relatives, your parents, okay, your siblings, but it must be your own decision, and that decision should be as per your thought process, your potential, your caliber, okay, your aspirations, and then you are going to do a great work. You can do excellent. But sometimes what happens, people go by seeing somebody else. Definitely you can see, because seeing is believing. If you do, somebody is doing great professional in the market and you are inspired, but also try to do some research that why that person has become so great, so famous, because it was not, we generally see the outcome, but we forget to see the entire story behind that particular development, that how somebody has gone to that level. And generally it is very, very inspiring. If you go and see the people who have gone to very high level, it is very, very inspiring journey, and that is very eye opener for us, and also it can give a path that how to grow. Because if anybody takes birth, if you at birth level, at least everybody is same. Only difference is that somebody can take birth in a very qualified family, somebody take birth in a very rich family, somebody in a poor family, somebody in a village, somebody in a city. But ultimately, during the birth, your mental level and almost everything is same. And now journey starts. And from that level, how you are treated, how you are guided, how actually you are trained, and that will be process will be able to build up your thought process, your potential. In fact, your entire ideology will be built up from the place how you are born, brought up, who was your siblings, who were your colleagues, and who were actually your in society, how you are trained, and then how you are probably treated. That will be making your thought process. And that's why it's very important that it must also match with your career aspirations and career aspects. So very happy that all of you are very clear that why you have taken a decision that to join the law as a career option. Okay. And also you're very clear that why you have joined the particular university. Now it's very important that how you are going to now take this 5-year journey to become a successful law professional. So there is some relearning, some unlearning, and some learning. So you have to now unlearn if something wrongly you have learned. So all the you'll be seeing the process that you have something thought differently, but it is different. You'll be experimenting yourself. So you have to unlearn lot of wrong thing you have learned. You have to learn the relevant things, required things to become the lawyer. And also you have to relearn something you have learned, but now we have updated version, advanced version. So you have to relearn. So now the whole idea is that what should be the relevant thing you should learn. So that's why I'm a strong believer that the curriculum, the entire curriculum is very, very important for any academic system. That what we are going to make the student learn. Okay. So you are going to become the lawyer. So you have to learn all those contents, principles, policies, philosophy, relevant courses, relevant cases, okay, to become the successful professional. But since the market is very fast changing, society is changing, economy is changing, everything is very fast changing. That's why those curriculum which was designed maybe in 80s, 90s, it must be reviewed. So what we have seen that during the 80s or 70s, 60s, law was one of the most favored option. Because if you go to the foreign countries, developed countries or developed economies, go to US, UK, or maybe European country, you will see that all the top class politicians, businessmen, they're mostly lawyers. And if anybody is very brilliant scholar, a child is very, very talented, very intelligent, generally family will say, oh my God, boy is very well suited for legal education because he's a brilliant boy. He's very active. Okay, he's very sharp. That's why he should be doing the law course. But what happened in 80s in India? Uh, we have seen that there was downfall in the legal education in the country, and then it has become a kind of fourth, fifth option. Okay, so if anybody will not get medical or engineering, okay, or any good course, then he will be taking law as a kind of last option. But thanks to the Madhav Menon, with the support of the Bar Council of India, he started the National Law School Bangalore in 1986. And they were trying to experiment the integration of the law with the other academic disciplines. Because in earlier days, we had only 3-year course. After graduation, you can go for a 3-year law course. In the 3-year law course, there were very limitation for the university and college to make you a successful law professional because just 3-year time period. Other problem is that you may be from diverse background to join the law, and that your diversity may not be well interlinked to that course you are doing. Okay, so that's why the 5-year course, the integrated course, is always superior than the 3-year course because you are getting more time, 5-year time, or if somebody is doing BTech LLB, it is a 6-year time to make you really a good law professional. Okay. And second thing is that university and college has a lot of chances to do a lot of research and provide the relevant content, relevant integration. For example, to become a good lawyer, you must understand society in detail. You must know your economy. Okay, you must know the entire history, ancient history, modern history, okay, medieval history, because history will tell you that what was the failures and what were the success. So from the failures will be eye opener not to repeat that same mistake again, and for the success you can find out the path that how somebody can become the success. So that's why in the integration model, what was the chance that try to bring those subjects which are very, very relevant to law. And that to understand the law properly, you have to understand the basic principle. For example, to understand properly the Indian Constitution, okay, because it is a social document. It is a kind of, you can say, when a country becomes a new country or once a country is created, a country requires a kind of system of governance, system of running the country. It requires a document. It may be written, may not be unwritten. Okay, so some country may have the written constitution, some country may not have written constitution. So this document will be giving the entire structure of the how the governance will run. So we know that we have three forms, three organs of the government. We have the judiciary, we have legislature, and we have executives. Okay, so the job of the legislature is that to legislate the law, frame the law, and the job of the executive is that the law framed by the Parliament of Vidhan Sabha to execute properly. And then we have the kind of the enforcement system. If law was made properly, it was implemented, and whether somebody is following law or not. So we have the enforcement group. But the point is that whether the particular law is okay or not, what should be the law, what should not be the law, how the law should be framed. Okay, so that's why the legislature who are making the law, they are going to reflect the kind of the wish of the legislature. So wish of the legislature is coming from where? From the people. So we have democratic form of the government. How we select? We select our government, and then our government will make a law. So it seems that whatever we have thinking, what we requiring, what we are aspiring, our government is feeling, and then government is recognizing those things, and then the government is making the law. Okay, and then that law was properly enforced, and the judiciary will see that whether law making was, because we as Indian, we in Supreme Court of India also have power of judicial review. It is not, it may not be in all the countries. So we have an excellent system. That also we have one more level, whether the Parliament can make a law as per the, we have 3 lists depending on that law is made, and then we have power of judicial review. The Supreme Court of India can check whether law was properly made or not, and also it can check whether the law was properly implemented by the executives or not. Okay, so that's why it's very, very vibrant, very proper system. So now the question is that to understand proper law, philosophy of law, or boundary of law, or function of law, role of law, and law in action, unless and until we are very clear about the socio-economic condition of the country, social structure, different cultures, different religions, because law is for human being. If any law is not providing proper support, proper encouragement, motivation, promotion of the socio-economic structure, it is not raising our quality of life, it is not bringing peace in society, that is not a good law. So what is good law? That law will provide a lot of peace in society. It is promoting our quality of life. It is promoting more jobs. It is raising the economic standards, GDP, per capita income. Okay, it is bringing the international integration and our life becoming more, you can say, cool, calm. We are getting jobs. Okay, we are able to do business at global level, and we are at peace. Everybody is happy. So that's why the integration was one of the great efforts and highly successful. And in that case, you can understand that being a lawyer, a law curriculum, law course, what should be taught, what should not be taught. Okay, so in the 3-year course, somebody is joining after the graduation, he might have studied anything, but once he's joining the course, he is going to do a law, only law, because there is no non-law course, there is no integration is there. So that we say a first generation program. So 3-year will be the first generation program, and then we have integration. So BLLB or BBLLB or BCom LLB, BSc LLB, BTech LLB, these are a first level integration. So we say that these are a second level of the academic program. In this integration, now you have a lot of choice. So if somebody is highly fascinated and also have flavor about the sociology, economics, political science and all, he can take the course of BLLB. Because in the BLB course, as per BCI norms, we have to teach you 12 courses in these areas, and then English, and then we have the kind of requirement of BCI to teach you the required number of the subjects. And also because it is a integrated model, there is further choice to have some optional courses, second level. So in the integration model, there was a lot of chance to club with the, for example, also because once it was started in NLS Bangalore, there was only BE-LLB course, first experiment. Then after this integration, it was highly successful because all those people who passed from NLS Bangalore or the National Law School model at that time, they started becoming very successful in the market because their curriculum was so strong, so tuned to the market requirements, so tuned to the law professional to become a good lawyer, good judge, or good law professional. So they started becoming successful. Then by being seeing success of the BLB program, people thought that let us start integration of the BBLLB and BCom LLB, BSLB and BTech LLB. So also they are trying to connect, and it was also very highly successful. So all the integration, whether BLLB or BBLLB, BCom LLB, BSLLB, BTech LLB, are highly successful. Even Bar Council of India has proposed a course named as MBBS LLB. So, but till now, no law school in the country could started the MBBS LLB. What I see in future, by seeing the COVID-19 pandemic we have seen, it is very, very strongly linked to the law. So that's why in future there may be some law school starting MBBS LLB. All those kind of the areas where a lot of legal issues are there with medical science, forensic science, medical science. Okay, so there's a lot of forensic science involved in law, and then a lot of, you might have seen the Maggie case, food law. Okay, so Maggie was using a lot of some chemical in the Maggie, so it was making the food very tasty, but it was not as per the food law requirements. So this way, now we have beverage. Now we have the entire food materials are coming in the packed form. Now package material, the way society will grow. If you go to advanced countries, you go to mall, you hardly get anything fresh. Everything is mostly in a packed form, and it is sealed and packed maybe few months, few year, 2 year, 3 year, maybe 4 days back, 5 days back. So there is a future of processed packed foods, but whether those processed food packs are satisfying the legal requirements or not. Okay, any doctor treating any COVID patient, giving injection, it is the patient is going on the ventilator. What was the treatment? Where was the negligence? If patient may have died because of the lack of the medicine, it was liability of the government or liability of the doctor, or nurse was negligent. So there are a lot of nexus also in the life science, with the food, with the medical science, with law. So there may be course of MBBS LLB. So integration will go on growing. Also the integration of the BTech LLB is there, where we were trying to create. Also I experimented, in fact, all the integrations. So I was a very strong force in India to experiment lot of integration. I was the part of the designing the lot of courses with the starting up the lot of law school in the country, because I'm the part of the in fact 7-8 law school in the country in the foundation stage or transformation stage. So entire focus was on the curriculum, because curriculum is the first level. So this was this. So BLLB honors, BBLLB honors, second level of integration. That was the second generation law school. Now then he started the honors program. So BLLB honors, BBLLB honors, BCom LLB honors. So honors is the third level of integration, because in the honors you are able to get some at least 6 papers to become the expert in certain areas. So in this model there will be a mixed kind of honors. You can take 2 courses from corporate law, 2 from IPR, 2 from maybe kind of the constitutional law, because you want a mixed kind of expertise in some of the areas. So some law school runs and says that BA LLB honors, BCom LLB honors, BTech LLB honors. And the fourth integration is that 4 level of the kind of 4th generation law school. So currently there is a 4th generation law school. So BA LLB honors in some area. For example, anybody can take BA LLB honors and he can do honors in corporate law, IPR, or maybe constitutional law, criminal law, international trade law, okay, humanitarian law. So many branches are there. So this 4th level of integration is that you are going to become super specialized expert in that area. So the way market is growing, because if you see the cases coming 40 years back, it was very, very nominal elementary cases. If you go to 80s, there was no case of cyber crime. There was no case of the environmental pollution. Okay. No, there was no compliance was required. Okay. There was no the case of the share market frauds, international frauds. So the way market is changing, market is growing, we have to also go on changing the curriculum, because you are a professional. Unless until you should know some basic requirement as a lawyer, you cannot handle the case, because every case coming in a court of law, and every case is a new case. So every case must be decided with the lot of research. It may have new dimensions, new linkages, and in law we say there is no answer. So law is not a logic. If law is a logic, that's why district court is final authority, because if law is a logic, there is some facts are there, case will be filed in a court, and court, because of the logic, will settle the matter. Even in that case, we can use the technology, we can use the artificial intelligence, machine can decide. But law is not logic, because law has so many dimensions, so many dynamics. That's why we require a human being to understand and feel the pain of different parties and provide justice. So after the fourth integration, we realize that it is not only trying to provide the specialized professionals, but we have to produce the justice education, or we have to create the people who can promote justice, who can realize justice, who can ensure justice. So that's why the new catchword in the world is that about legal education. It is not a legal education. It is a justice education. Even when Madhav Menon shifted from West Bangalore in 2000, so Jyoti Basu brought him to start a law school in Calcutta that is currently known as National Institute of Juridical Sciences. So once he came to Calcutta and Jyoti Basu brought him to change the scenario in West Bengal, then he was searching that who can be the people coming to NUJS Calcutta, trying to take his vision forward. So he selected 16 faculty from the country and filtered out. And I was one of the most luckiest person that I was the part of those 16 faculty who Madhav Menon selected to start the journey of NUJS Calcutta. And what was the experiment? He wanted to now experiment that justice education. So all the courses were designed, curriculum were designed to promote that whether those courses are supporting the justice or not. Okay. And other experiment is also doing was experimenting the law, science, and technology. How we can integrate law, science, and technology. Okay. So that's why the curriculum designing is very important. Curriculum should be trying to satisfy the requirement of integration, where law is integrating, where law is in action, and also it should try to satisfy the requirement of the growing market. So currently we have now cases of the cyber crime, cyber fraud. Now we are also seeing that there will be cases of the maybe any artificial intelligence may do a crime, may do something mischief, and also there are a lot of compliance are growing in future. A lot of international corporate frauds are happening. So that's why this is the way market is changing. We have to have experts from those areas who will handle those cases. If they are not taught those areas where new cases are coming up, how they are going to handle those cases. So that's why it is very important that if anybody has done anything wrongly, he has to unlearn, and he has to learn those things which are required to be learned because of the changing socio-economic, political, and also because of technology, internet, blockchain technology, maybe because of the use of the artificial intelligence. Innovations are happening, a lot of creative thoughts are coming, entire market is changing. So you have to go on learning all these things and also go on the relearning. If something could not learn, try to learn immediately. So unlearning, learning, and relearning should be a process for all of you. And then also that how to extract the benefits, because if you do study everything, you're not supposed to learn. That you should learn only very, very relevant content. That's why you should not be focusing only on a particular article, particular case, okay, or on a particular book. So what we suggest that any faculty who is designing the kind of the course plan, because generally he will get a syllabus designed by the Board of Studies and approved by Academic Council. Now faculty will get syllabus. Now faculty is trying to provide the course plan, how that particular syllabus should be improved or enriched. So he has to provide the relevant cases. It must be current, maybe some international cases, some local cases. Okay. It must have the suggested readings. It must have relevant articles, law commission reports, committee reports, maybe suggested reading, mandatory reading, because you should be only studying those portions which are very, very important, very, very relevant. And faculty will be providing all these relevant things in a course plan. So that's why course plan is very, very important. So making up the course plan is very important for faculty, that how they are going to extract the best material that you should learn, because you have very, very short time. You should not be learning something very rubbish. You should not be learning those laws which are repealed. You should not be learning those cases which have no relevance nowadays. You should be learning very, very important, relevant, quality content, current cases, landmark cases, very good articles by the great authors, and also learning the something very important to that in subcommittee reports or some any these inquiry committee reports, any recommendatory committee reports, something has come up. Okay, so that's why extracting and learning the relevant content is very, very important aspect. Okay.